Hey guys, still here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Today we're doing a pre-Dreadnought conflict. I can build a battleship or a heavy cruiser, and interestingly I already start out with a small fleet. I have a couple of ships with me, a heavy cruiser, a light cruiser and 2 torpedo boats. The enemy is going to be consisting of a couple of battleships, a heavy cruiser, a light cruiser and 3 torpedo boats. So in this case, either the light cruiser is going to have to take on the torpedo boats, or I'm going to have to build some sort of battleship or heavy cruiser with secondaries, because those guns need to take down the torpedo boats before these things strike. They're very hard to hit generally, so this is going to be a pretty tricky encounter. The 2 battleships are apparently separate classes, otherwise you'd see the 2BB sign over here. Now before I forget, I've noticed that especially on Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, quite a few who are watching the videos are not subscribed. So if you like the content and if you want to keep coming back for more, then please subscribe, because it really helps out my channel and I really want to make this thing grow, and it's something very small. So just hit that subscribe button and you'd make me a happy admiral here. Alright, bonus-wise, enhanced firepower, maneuverability, mixed tech, or more funds. More funds is generally something I immediately discard, because I find it the least interesting. Considering that my heavy cruiser or battleship are going to have to sink 2 battleships, that is, if my torpedo boats don't do it, I'm going to go with enhanced firepower and see how far that's going to take me. I know that is going to give me more range, more gun aiming speed, more gun base accuracy, and it's a pre-Dreadnought conflict. Especially in these kind of engagements, you really need more accuracy, as much as you can tack on. Because pre-Dreadnoughts, those things were pretty terrible at aiming. So let's take the enhanced firepower. I think the heavy cruisers might offer more flexibility. This would be the pre-Dreadnought hull, and this is the armored cruiser hull. Yeah, this is really pretty old stuff. Let's set the range to short and bulkheads to standard. Displacement of only 7,000 tons, that is really quite light for a ship. Now I can go for a couple of probably just centerline guns. I have set the caliber, or the what do you call that? The distance units to centimeters for this one, just to see and try how that feels. This gives me the 152, so 6-inch all the way up to 279 millimeter. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-inch guns. So this is pretty powerful stuff, but will you hit? That's the big question. And I don't know where I'm going to spawn, whether it's very close to the enemy or very far away from the enemy. So this is something that I'll also have to take into account. Because I'm spawning very far away from the enemy, then these could come in handy. If I spawn right on top of them, I would probably rather have the 152s. Now let's say I'm going to go with a middle solution, the 203s, 8-inch guns. I can put a couple of dual barrel on the stern and on the bow, and that's about it. The rest is going to have to be casemate guns. And by the looks of it, this cruiser, heavy cruiser, has a lot of slots for them. It's almost resembling one of those old galleys, which just have row after cannon over there. Anyway, let's throw on the main tower. We need a front tower over here. Not a lot of flexibility on this hull, so just go with what you're given. At least one funnel, of course. I have the dual funnel. Can I... No, I cannot boost that. Oh, that's unfortunate. I cannot boost the engine either. No, so it's all really early tech. What about armor? Best I have is compound armor. It's going to give me a little bit more strength, but it's not going to reduce weight. So, oh, actually it does. It doesn't say that. It just says that it's reducing or increasing strength and increasing cost, but not that it reduces weight. Look at that. 5801 versus 6990. That just saves me 1,000 tons of weight. That's actually pretty impressive. The game could do a better job explaining that, though. Now, I need a funnel capacity of, well, actually a little more than this, but since these ships are going to be moving around at 19 knots, I don't really think that I'm going to need that much of a cruise speed. So let's just go with this. Torpedo launchers. Underwater side-mounted torpedo launchers with a range of 1.5 kilometers. Yikes, I don't want to get to 1.5 kilometers. I can fit 102mm guns. Okay. That is pretty small stuff. I was hoping for secondary guns in the 6... Yeah, this is 5-inch guns. Yeah, you cannot really fit those anywhere. There's gonna have to be casemates all over the place. Oh, hold on, I cannot even fit the casemates in here. I would have to do that on there. And for some reason that immediately removes the option of adding them on... No, never mind. Apparently they didn't even get to be set over there. So what can I fit in here? Not that. Oh, you're gonna make me use 51mm guns? That is tiny. That's absolutely tiny. These are 2-inch guns. Okay. Well, you know what they say. Guns, guns, guns. Guns, guns, guns. We'll just see if this works. My bet would be no. Because they're such small caliber, and they have such low range that they're not likely to do much of anything. But maybe if I change my ammo type, that could change. Especially if I change it to Lyddite 1. Get more of an HE fire chance. If all of these things keep firing and hopefully get lucky, they might start a fire. Maybe. Enhanced reload. It's going to give me a 4-second reload on these guns. It is going to look spectacular once you fire all of these, though. That is something that's going to be quite nice. I can go for super heavy shells. Once again, increases HE fire chance. My reload is now 4.3 and all of these minigun... well, not exactly a minigun, but they are definitely small. These have a reload of 41.5. And if possible... Nope, don't have rangefinder. Don't have radar. This is about as good as it's going to get. Like it or not. But for some reason I do get electro-hydraulic turrets. That's pretty curious. Whereas I don't get damage control. Nor anti-flood. Nor anti-torpedo belt. I can go with the Citadel 1 to get me a little bit more armor. But not a whole lot. Now I need to relocate this turret. Because it's currently not quite in the right place. There's a bit of an offset of 0.9. If I can move this bow turret slightly further forward, I can get that offset removed. Yep, there it is. Okay. So here we are. This is what's gonna try and take on a couple of warships. Battleships, even. And to be fair, I'm not exactly too confident about whether this design is going to work out. I don't really trust this design. Now, I'm fighting at very short range, most likely, so I think belt armor is going to be pretty important here. Because without belt armor, I'm going to be very dead very, very soon. So let's set it to 200mm of belt armor. And then see how much belt extended I can tack on. Maybe 100. Turret top armor at 6mm is not a lot. But then again, I think I wouldn't even mind too much if I lose the 203s. Because this is just my galley. My full guns galley. So the secondaries will need a bit more armor. And actually the secondaries are so light that I can tack on quite a lot of armor. And there's the weight limit. 137mm for the for the secondaries versus 45mm for the turret. Yeah, no, that's not really fair. But the turrets are quite a bit heavier. And as such, armor for them is quite a bit heavier as well. There, and then up this a little more. There it is. 72.5mm secondary armor, 52.5mm turret armor, conning tower 45mm, deck 10mm, so that's if I got plunging fire. Direct hits will encounter a belt armor of 200mm and everything gets a quality upgrade of 35%. And we are the Cornwall class heavy cruiser. Here goes nothing. Here goes nothing. I've been trying to design a couple of more realistic / historically accurate ships in the game, but so far it is really quite hard because you don't get the parts that you need. For example, some of the... actually, one of the craft that I wanted to make is the Scharnhorst. Get torpedoes on it, get a couple of 280mm guns on it. You just cannot do it. It just does not work. The game doesn't really allow you to do it. Okay, so what do we have? I want the Edgar. Actually, no, I can have this group here as well. Join the Heavy Cruiser Division. The Light Cruiser is armed with 203s and 76s. Torpedo boats, the Swordfish and the Bat, are armed with one 15-inch torpedo at a range of 1.5, so that's a suicide run. And the Edgar is one that I have not designed myself. 254mm guns, 102, 102, 51, 51. Alright, do we know where the enemy is? I wouldn't be surprised if the answer to that is very much no, because I don't have any sort of identification means or direction finding. So much as I would like it, we're just going to have to wait. Cornwall is waiting to find its place in the queue. Ah, southwest. So they're over there. Have no fear, the heavy cruisers are here. And they're probably going to get burnt down one by one by one. Oh, there we are. Range, 7.5 kilometers. My plan is to move in first, because if I'm sailing directly at them, the bow guns can do some work. So that's the 203s, and in this case the 254. Then, if I'm close, I'm going to let the secondaries have it. And the secondaries are going to be firing HE all over. Actually, the entire group is going to be firing HE. Yep, check. HE and HE. Now, hopefully those enemy torpedo boats are going to run into my heavy cruisers first. And with that, immediately get subjected to a hail of, 51mm rounds. Of which I carry no fewer than 15,000 per ship. That is a lot of ammo. I might need it too, because their accuracy leaves quite a bit to be desired, I think. Even at 1,000-meter range, which is point blank, I'm still firing with an accuracy of only 26%. Anyway, let's see if we can whittle this battleship down a little bit, and in the meanwhile have the torpedo boats go for a straight run on it. Hopefully getting a bit of flooding on it, making the ship slower, and allowing the heavy cruisers a bit more chance to get into range. Now I need to sink 75%, don't need to sink everything, and I need to keep 40% of my ships alive. Which the game calls allies, but basically this is all mine, so there is no ally. This is just my fleet. Oh, this thing comes with torpedoes as well, the Fritjof. Yep, all the heavy cruisers are firing. Cornwall, Lancaster, Good Hope and Edgar. And he's also opening up with 102mm secondaries. With a whole 3% chance to hit. Very impressive. This is probably their light cruiser. And this is their heavy cruiser. Holy shit, you got some big guns there, sir. What are you packing? Because I want to steer well clear of it. Oh, torpedo boats. Torpedo boats. All cruisers. Please engage the torpedo boat. That thing at the moment is a bit more of a concern. And Swordfish. That sounded like it hurt. Yep, we took a bit of damage and the ship is flooding. Which is really bad news for the Edgar because it has minimum bulkheads. This is not a ship that I designed. And I do kind of fear for its life. Fortunately, the Fritjof and Württemberg both have no bulkheads, or at least very, very few of them. Okay, let's see if I can land one torpedo with the Swordfish. Swordfish has fired the torpedo. Time to disengage with the Swordfish. And let the Bat close in. And hopefully the Bat can also land one torpedo, or at least send it out into the water. Here's the torpedo. Damn, that thing's slow. 27 knots? Wow. Better be patient because this is going to take a while. Alright. Let's get our battle galleys into range. Get the 203s firing. The Edgar is falling back, having taken heavy damage, but unfortunately it's running directly into the Good Hope. Oh, hold on, are we firing those secondaries? Because I gotta see that. Yep. But it seems like some of these guns currently don't have a target, because they're not exactly lined up with the target. Alright, the Edgar, I want you to disengage from the division, so that hopefully at least you get out of the way. And the heavy cruisers themselves can keep going, because this is going to be one big messy formation at the moment. Any idea where the torpedo went? I can see one. That's coming in from the bat. I want these guys to turn around and then re-engage. We got a couple of torpedoes coming after us, but yep, this torpedo is probably going to strike the Fritjof. Looks like right in the bow. Yep, flooding confirmed. Now my heavy cruisers for the moment are taking a pounding, but they mostly seem interested in the Edgar. What's my range? 3.6, 3.4, and 3.1 to the Niobe. Oh, come on guys, go! The Edgar really mucked up the formation. That's really unfortunate, because it's just messing with everything now. Let's see. Swordfish is reloaded. Gotta give him that much. They do reload fast. Although, it says 240 seconds, so already 4 minutes passed since that first torpedo hit. That's quite long. The bat is similarly also reloaded. Alright, bat, I want you to detach and also make an attack run of your own. That's your target. The bat has taken some damage. Now, it's not hard to damage a torpedo boat because it has 0 armor. Actually, none. So I don't really expect these things to survive for very long, but seemingly they do a good deal of damage. Because this is the damage after 1 torpedo hit. Alright, I want the Good Hope to start engaging this torpedo boat. Preferably with all of those secondaries on them. Casemates. It's almost like the ship has taken a bunch of damage, but it hasn't. It's struggling to stay afloat. Or at least, it gave me that impression. Now, I just sent out a torpedo. Where is it? There it is. Fortunately, we're already reducing speed. And maybe all of my tickle guns, my 51mm, can do something against that ship. It's seemingly taking a decent portion of damage. So for the moment, this might actually work out against the torpedo boat. Whereas my own torpedo boat, torpedo boats, are both going for these guys. Oh shit, you sent out a torpedo against a torpedo boat. No. That's not what I wanted. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's a bit of a waste of a good torpedo. Swordfish, you have fired. Disengage. Alright, so we got rid of one of their torpedo boats. Oh, the Orion is doing very poorly. 102mm hits the stern. So that's... from which ship? Do I even carry 102s? Yeah, I do. Interesting. So the Orion is really not that heavily armored either. 170mm plus 45. Bat, come right. At least the Bat is keeping these battleships quite busy. Bat, go for this one instead, because it's currently dead slow. Or is it just dead in the water altogether? Yep, it's doing 1.9 knots. So charge in with your full 25 knots. And get that torpedo on target. Where is the torpedo launcher? On the stern, give or take. Come right. Sorry, come left. I'm actually way better positioned to get a torpedo shot on this one. Why is my torpedo launcher not turning though? Right there on the stern. Oh, is it damaged? Yeah, I think my torpedo launcher's dead. Ah, that's unfortunate. I was really hoping to have the Bat take out one of the battleships with a torpedo launcher, but that apparently is not quite going to work out. Okay, so I'll have to work around that. Priority target, all ships. Go for the torpedo boat. Let the Orion simmer for a little. And then we're going to take out the Niobe. So far, I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised at how well these ships are doing. This was more of a meme build with all of these 51mm guns. But it seems to kind of work, I guess. I mean, it just looks funny as well. That is, if they actually want to fire. Maybe not a good enough of an angle. Oh, torpedo boat's almost dead. Get rid of it, boys. Before she comes around and gets you sunk with probably 1 or 2 torpedo hits. Because we have absolutely no defense against torpedoes, except just seeing them come in and getting out of their way. That's really one of the few things that I can do. Alright, let's sail more or less parallel to that battleship. Come on. It's on fire. It's at 19%. We can take it down. There you go. Well done. Alright, now we're going to start turning around. Full starboard. Because I need to get closer to those battleships. Unfortunately, the Swordfish... Yeah, I think the Swordfish just lost its torpedo tube. Alright, I need to keep 40% of my ships alive. So let's do that. By trying to save the Swordfish. Because the Bat... Oh, the Bat's still alive. Really? Unfortunately, the Bat... No, the Bat sunk. There goes the Bat. And the Swordfish has also taken a torpedo hit. From a battleship, no less. How's that for reversing everything? Oh, and there goes... Holy crap, there goes the Danae. After having gotten its ammo detonated. So it's down to my cruisers. And a severely wounded Edgar over here. Which is doing some damage, but is really not quite capable of surviving. At least I don't believe so. Come on, keep peppering the Orion. Chance to pen, 70%. That's probably just with the 203s. The range is 1.2. What can I penetrate with these miniguns? 0.7 of deck armor, but 33.7 of belt armor. I don't know if that's going to work, but it does have a fair amount of damaged armor. Let's have the Good Hope. The Lancaster and the Cornwall try to finish off this ship by doing AP damage to it. We're going to make a lot of holes in this ship. Hopefully. Casemate destroyed. Oh shit, the battleships are running away. I need to catch these guys. I still have 90 minutes to do it in, but I do need to get them. Funnel destroyed. What's your speed? Because you cannot be very fast at this point. 4.9. Flooding, very good. Secondary gun destroyed. See, this is one of those moments that I'm starting to regret not bringing torpedoes, because these battleships look like they might be running away faster than I can possibly intercept. Like at a speed of 15. So I might be able to catch them, but whether I'm able to sink them without torpedoes is a whole different matter. Took a little bit of damage to my main tower, but fortunately just damage, no severe damage. So the ship is still capable of shooting pretty accurately. What are the secondaries? I think most of the secondaries are still active. Lancaster too. Lancaster has not taken a single hit. Now, I'd rather not keep wasting time on the Orion. I need to get further forward and get to the Württemberg. Edgar, turn around, get over here. Try to kite them back in. At best speed. Destroyed main gun, very good. Continuing to flood. But he's definitely fighting it. Boom. Ammo detonation. Very good. Increase speed to flank. 19 knots. Here we come. The Edgar got really heavily punished. And at some point it looked like it was going to sink, but it was able to fight off all that flooding damage. It might have minimum bulkheads, but it actually survived all of that punishment so far. Now let's sink the Niobe and hope that that's enough. I don't think so, so we might still have to sink the Fritjof. Let's get all the ships back to HE. Pan chance, 100% though. Well, actually that's our pen chance. What's our hit chance? 2%. Yeah. Okay. Time to close in. No way to speed this up though. I'm locked in to ×3. At least I damaged this battleship quite a bit, so it's not going to be running away very quickly. It's doing 11 knots. I'm doing a little under double that. 4.1. .6 and 0.2. Uh-oh. Edgar just took another big hit. And lost a turret. Seemingly the bow turret. The stern one's still fighting. The real question is, how long is that going to stay that way? Edgar, keep kiting away. Alright, let's see if I can break into this formation by turning a little bit towards them. Now, I'm not sure if it's just me, but I usually find these lower early era games to be less interesting than the one with the 18-inch guns, the modern battleship. I much prefer the era where you have World War II ships, as opposed to World War I / interbellum era. I find that to be much, much more fun. So hopefully in the campaign I'm going to be able to tech up pretty quick. And get up to that level of tech and those ship designs, because this stuff, well, it's slow mostly. There's not a whole lot going on most of the time. You're just waiting for your ship to finally hit something. Whereas with the more modern ships, it feels like you have more options and it's more down to maneuvering. What sort of ships do you have? How do you deploy the ships? As opposed to, let's see if I can catch up to a battleship that does 15 knots or 11 when I'm doing 19 knots. No thank you. I much prefer something quite a bit faster. To their credit though, these early era ships, they are pretty effective. And they are actually pretty good at staying alive so far. Especially Edgar. Edgar almost got sunk pretty much twice. And it's still here. Now I think that the Good Hope might be slightly less hopeful in a minute or two. Once it closes into this battleship and starts to get really subjected to a peppering of 152, 127, 102, 76mm guns. At least... Oh, look at that. I can get all, if not most, of my 51s involved at an accuracy of 11%. So brace yourself, because here comes the HE spam. That is, insofar as I still actually have secondary guns. Casemate guns. Because that's the big question. How many casemate guns do I actually have left? Now let's try and take out the cruiser first, because I think it's the easiest one to go for. And let's not go exactly too close to the battleship, because it is armed with a torpedo. As, ironically, one of my torpedo boats has witnessed in a bit of a brutal fashion. Oh, nice. Destroyed main gun. Good. Was also on fire. No, it's still on fire. It's heavily on fire, actually. Seems to be trying to abandon formation. Look at that! It's one big fireball, the whole ship. If this keeps up, the ship might sink due to excessive fire. If it doesn't outright get destroyed by the other cruisers. There you go, extensive fire. Good. Now, let's see if we can subject the Friedhof to the same treatment. While dodging torpedoes fired by the Württemberg. Yeah, there's the torpedo. We're safe. Now what I wonder about is, are the guns on the port side taking aim at the battleship right here? Because it is less than a kilometer away. 700 meters only. Alright, let's circle our prey. Where's the Edgar? Edgar's also here. Edgar, I want you to keep the Württemberg busy. Destroyed secondary tower. Well done, boys. Look at these ships. Especially if you look at them from above, you can really see all those guns going off. I couldn't quite get the shot when I was looking at the ship from the side. But now you can really see all of those 51mm guns going off. 2-inch. But hey, 2-inch apparently does seem to work reasonably well. We just gotta be a little patient with these ships. So far, still no torpedo launch. Damaged the main guns, casemate destroyed, main tower damaged. Now, to be fair to those 51s, I'm not sure how much they actually do. I think the 102s and the 203s are actually doing the main bit of the damage here. But once armor gets cracked, I think that that's when the 52 or the 51s can be effective. I feel like a pack of hyenas trying to take apart one elephant. Oh, that was not good. Knocked out all of its engines. And seemingly causing quite a lot of flooding on it. Come on, we can sink the Fritjof if you're quick. Because I'm not sure if we can lose one more ship. Oh crap, everything's now starting to sail right through each other. Detach from the division. I need you to keep going, I need you to keep going, and I need you to keep going, insofar as you still have propulsion. Slow down to full, if that. I think its torpedo launcher is inoperable. Or at least I rather hope so. Whoa, it's not for any lack of torpedo launchers either. It has 6, 3 per side. That's a lot of torpedoes for a battleship. Chance to pen still only 16%. Range to target 300 meters. Prepare to board. Prepare the boarding parties. Although I'm not sure if you would want to be on this ship at this stage. All this ding 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 from the 51mm guns, the 2 inches. Oh, the Good Hope just got torpedoed, I think. Yeah. Battleship hit it with a torpedo. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Get out of there. Range, 100 meters. Turn, Cornwall. Ramming speed is not an option. Couple more good hits from the Good Hope. Cornwall. Cornwall has rammed the enemy and done nothing. If this thing detonates now, then I am very curious to see if the Cornwall goes right with it. It might. Look at this though. What the hell happened here? This is not right. This is not right. Oh no. Oh no. Did I get hit by a torpedo or something? No, not even. Oh, she's down to 1%. Hurry up. Because the cruisers cannot take this beating for much longer. All cruisers have taken severe damage at this point. Where's the Edgar? Edgar's still firing from what in this era I suppose could be constructed as afar. At a range of 4.5. It's down to 0. Sink, damn you. Sink. I command it. There you are. Now, does that count as 70%? Oh no. It doesn't. Oh, you're telling me we need to take apart the Württemberg? Yeah, that's not going to work. That is not going to work. Because most of my ships are dead in the water. The Good Hope's not going anywhere. The Lancaster is not going anywhere. The only mobile ships that I have are the Cornwall and the Edgar. But this ship is at pretty much full capacity. Sure enough, it has taken some damage, but not a whole lot. And if I'm not mistaken, then I've lost a turret. No, it just looks like it. The turret is operational. Hold on, how did I not sink 75% yet? Did one of their ships get away? Well, we've set our first fire. The big question is, how long is that gonna last? Alright, I have cut out a bit of the video because I was too busy doing my taxes, rewatching all the seasons of Game of Thrones, taking a small trip to the moon and setting up a small Mars base. That finally, when I came back to the PC, the battleship has now been taken down to 16%. And we still have 20 minutes left. Now, the Württemberg has been pretty much crippled as much as I could. HE just keeps raging through the ship. Fires keep being set and keep being extinguished. It's been like this for for as long as history can remember. It seems like the cruisers, even though they're still going to need a bit of a duct tape and some other patching, will actually win. Much to my disbelief, they will actually win the fight. Sure enough, it took me forever, but I am inside the time frame. And hopefully this last battleship is in fact the last one that I need to achieve the 75% kills that should complete the mission. Considering the mission hasn't failed means that I have kept 40% of my own ships alive. And there she finally goes. So, lesson learned, you need to be patient with these matches. Because they are just slow. The battleships are slow, the cruisers are slow, the ships themselves, well, they do damage to each other, but slowly. So all of this stuff is just a lot less fast than you have come to see from other missions. Anyway, that concludes the mission, and with that, the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. I am curious to see what sort of designs you have come up with, and what sort of designs worked for you in this mission. Because I really think that there can be more efficient ways of going about this. And that this was not as fast as it could be. Or at least I really hope it isn't. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I shall catch you guys soon for more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts.